Now we will use the Huawei simulate software, ENSP, to learn the Hcda technology. This part is only for the lab, so I will follow this documentation. So the first one is should be the basic option on the VRP platform, which is the standard the Huawei router. So the topology is like this. We have R1 and R2. Um, in the lab, we have a serial. Here is 100, but we use 00 in our lab. So the first one is connect to the device. I will not present this part because this one is kind of simple. It's just a serial connectivity. You can use either I mean any software, either as the hyperterminal, secure CRT, PATI, whatever you prefer to use. Um, so remember the speed is 9600, 8 bit, no parity, one stop bit, and the most important part is the flow control is none. And so please don't use any flow control, um, because not of uh, nowadays the most of the computer doesn't have the serial port. So you may have to use the USB to serial adapter. You have to install the driver. This part you have to do by yourself. So I will start from here to check the system information. To see from here, we are on the R1. We can uh, so let's start from here. So in order to configure your router, you have to say Cisco system view. It's like a Cisco configure terminal. It's a very similar command. So system view, you can display version, because we are using the simulation software. So this part, the output is not too much information. Um, but from this lab, you should see like you see the software version. You can see the router hardware module number, um, and how long this router has been running. So now you can change the system time parameters. So the command is clock, clocks. Oh no, not site. Clock, date time. Clock. Let's see what's okay. You have to quit clock, daytime. You can put 11, 20, 33. You can put the year, the month, and the date. Now you can display clock, and next. Just generally speaking, if you want to see what's the command you can type after display, you can put a question mark, and that's all the commands you can put there. To see, let's display uh, display IP, display is already there. IP routing table. So now you can only see the directly connected because we don't have any routing protocols configured. The next, access to the system view. Okay, we already did that. So you can set up the device name. So system view, sys name. We can put the whatever the name. So we can change it back. That's how you set up the name. The next is the configure the login information. So whoever log into the device will see this information. You can see header, shell information. Uh, you can put here. It is Hcda lab. Now you quit. When you log in again, you can see that's whatever you type. Um, Next is to configure the login authentication mode and the timeout interval of the console port. As for the console port basically says it's called the console port user interface console 0. So user interface console 0. So here you see set authentication password simple Huawei. Okay, so basically you tell the router to use the uh, Huawei as the login password. Simple means this password you can see from the when you show the command. It's not encrypt. So now when you quit, because we connect to the console, right? So oops, that's only the password. We forgot this one. You should have this command. So user interface console. Uh, you you put the authentication password, which means this console login need the password, and the password is Huawei. Uh, Now we can try it again. When you log in, they will ask you password Huawei. So now you can log in. So the third command is idle. Um, let's see. User interface console 0. Idle timeout. So you put the minute. Uh, Default is 10 minutes. Let's try 1 minute and 0 second. So if you don't touch this router for 1 minute, the console login will be timeout. Um, okay. Let's see the clock. We can play our command here. Um, so, oh, this one I already set up the username password. So, okay. So just to keep an eye on the left. So it should time out in 1 minute. can configure IP as the configuration for the interface. You can set up IP and the description. Now you can see it says user interface console 0 is available, which means it's timeout. So you have to put the password again. Okay, so now we start to configure the interface. By default, the serial interface, the encapsulation is PPP. So if you display the current config, you can see under the serial interface, you have a link protocol PPP, which means they use the encapsulation PPP. Uh, so on our here it says you configure PPP, but let's try something else like HDLC. Uh, so interface serial 0000 link protocol HDLC. The configuration for the interface will be changed. Yes. Okay, so if you display this should be done. Still up. Okay, so on this side, um, interface 000. Let's see. Let's put the IP address first. IP address 1.1.1.255.255.255.0. So here we put the IP address 1.1.2.255.255.255.0. But the R2 has the encapsulation PPP. You see, has entered the down state, which means this one is PPP, but here we have HDLC. So from the layer 2 perspective, they cannot talk to each other. Even the IP address are correct. They matched. So when you ping 1.1.1.2, you shouldn't be able to ping. So the SMP timeout. Now let's change it to link. Let's change the site. Link protocol HDLC. Yes. Now we can try again. Still timeout. Now it's come up. So basically, the first ping we lost the first ping. This one basically is is normal because when you ping, you have to figure out what's the MAC address. So the first ping basically doesn't work because that's the time the router will figure out what's the IP address for that MAC address. So now if you ping again, you should you can ping. All the ping should be successful. Or the another is to description. So description you can put R1 to R2. Here you can say R2 to R1. So hold on a second. So now that's the configuration we added. So you also can do display this, less the current config you just added. So basically, for any serial interface, the link protocol on both sides should match. Either both are HDLC or on both sides they have PPP. This description just uh, give you more information about the interface itself, but you can put whatever you want. Uh, this is layer 2, this is layer 3. So layer 3 basically the IP address you have to match to see you have the same subnet mask for both, and they have to be on the same network. Now we can display interface 0, 0, 0, 0. You should see the status. The site has to be up here and up here. And that's the IP address. On this side, so same thing here, up, up, and the description, IP address. You should see HDLC. That's the layer 2. Here is layer 3. Next, we will configure the TCP, the telnet login. So to see here, we will try to configure R1 so we can telnet from R2 into R1. So on this side, um, the user interface for telnet is called VTY. You can put from 0 to 4, which means 5 person can telnet into this router at the same time. So authentication mode, we can see password, which means when you telnet, you need the password, and you can put password. You can use Huawei, and also you can give the user login privilege level. We give us 3. So this one you can control what command the login user can use. So the privilege level is from 0 to 4 to 15. But the oldest Huawei they use 0 to 3. So this 3 basically I believe is equals to 15. Now we can telnet 1.1.1 from here. Okay, it is like this. So telnet 1.1.1. They ask you the password. Huawei. Now you log into R1. So from here you can pretty much all the commands you can run. Okay, next. Last you just use the password. Here you can use the authentication mode. You can change it to AAA, and you configure AAA. This one is mask. Is more flexible because for AAA you can even point to the authentication server to do the authentication. Not need to be local authentication. But this time since we don't have like a TACA server, or so we just try some just the basic local on certification. So here we're still under the VTY 0 to 4 mode. So we can just say on certification mode, which could triple A, and we go to triple A. We configure the local user. We put Huawei. We put the password. Um, I think this one you have to encrypt. So Huawei. So and the local user Huawei. You can privilege here. You can put the 15. So 15 is highest. Uh, the level should not higher than the current user. Okay. So we put 3 here. And again, we put another parameter. It's called the server type telnet, which means you can only telnet, not SSH. Okay, now we can try from here. Q. So we are on R2 again. We try to telnet to R1. So Huawei password Huawei. So we log into R1 now. We can use display this. So that's the command that we added. Basically, this 3 command, and all the others they are default. So I already tried this telnet session. So configure super password for the device. Now we can try to configure a super password for the device, which means if the user privilege level is 0 or 1 for the telnet login, you can use the super command to increase the user rights. Let's try this. So on this one, I change the local user Huawei. I change its privilege level to 0. So let's try to telnet from here. So Huawei, it doesn't change username password, but from the R1, if you type system view, it doesn't show you this command. You see, that's all the command you can type. That's just very basic. Like you can display something, uh, just a switch over basically, and you can ping something 1.1.2 because you are in 1. Ping 1.1.2. You can do this, but that's it. You don't have too much command you can try. The super password. Uh, to see the we set up a user. Let's display what's the password, the privilege. So triple A. Okay, so now we have this user called Huawei. It has the privilege level 1. So let's try from here. So if we telnet Huawei, so less of the command. This level 1 have So if you try to configure something, basically you cannot because you don't have that the privilege. So now we can set up some super password. So super um, password for level 1. Uh, we put a super. Okay, now I guess we have to re-log in. So we log in. We use Huawei. Same username password. Uh, Now we still cannot type the this command system view, right? So, but if we type super, I put a super password. Now I can type, I can configure it basically. See, that's all the command, which means uh, basically you see, I want to be the privilege like a 3 or 15, I mean higher than 1. So if you type super and if you know the super password, you can uh, promote yourself to the higher privilege. Next, we will view the files list stored on the device. So the command is same as the computer, like a dir. So from here you can see the flash. Uh, you have I think that's the config. Let's see, save. Yes, that's dir again. You see it has been changed from 28 bytes to 628, and also they create another VRP CFG.zip for the configuration. Now we can try upload and download file between R1 and R2 using FTP. So basically on the R2 you have to enable this function, this FTP server enable, and you set default FTP di directory SD1 slash. So you can try AAA. You create a local user named FTP user, and you put password simple. It does not allow you to put the simple one, so you can put the Huawei again, um, and you put the service type FTP, and you put the privilege level 15. So let's see. So that's what you created. You create another FTP user uh, password, and also the FTP. So now we try from R1. So we can try FTP 1.1.1.2 user. So FTP user password Huawei. failed to run this command because the command was closed by remote. So this one we have to say the because the FTP directory is not correct. We put flash. So now we can use the FTP user as the username and Huawei as the password. We can go to FTP and we can put um, file, maybe this file, give a file name r1 dot like. Okay, now we can dir. So we should see this one here. So which means you can FTP this file from R1 to R2. You can also get CR1 R2 R1. Now R2 R1. Why you don't see it? So, now we can see the file we have. That's the wrong one basically, but it doesn't matter the name of it typed wrong, but it's still uh, FTP the file from here to here. Basically, we did it twice. So one named here, one named this one. That's the first one we do. That's the second one. Now we can delete this file. Next is we save. We already did that. So dir. So basically no difference because we didn't change anything. Let's see if we can change the name to something longer. Let's save. Yes. Let's see what's the difference. No different. Yeah, I think by default so the next is to display the saved config. So display saved config and display the current config. Basically, they should be the same thing. And start up router. So you can specify the next when the router reboot. What's the configuration you want to use to start up? So let's see so we can use actually the same thing. We can start up. Saved config. Saved configuration. You can put slash. So you can display start up, display start up. So you will see they will start from here. You can also delete this one. So you reset, saved config. So display start. So now you basically see the difference, right? So when you reset, now we can try to reboot. Yes, yes, yes. Password. So that's it for chapter 1. Um, in the next presentation, I will present chapter 2.